Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Twin Peaks recap. Nikki, how great was tonight's episode?
It was creepy. It was a little trippy.
Yeah, it was very trippy. You done? You done? Alright, I'm going to give you a minute. Okay, so today's episode started off with Gordon and Tammy and Albert. They're in there talking. They're waiting for Diane to show up. Gordon has a flashback to meeting Philip Jeffries, who was David Bowie. That was David Bowie.
I saw Bowie.
Yes. And their flashback of the scene from Fire Walk With Me makes more sense than the actual scene in Fire Walk With Me. But they make sure to point out that Philip Jeffries pointed at Cooper and said, "Do you know who this is?" Because I'm guessing Philip Jeffries went to the Black Lodge or whatever, time traveled, and knew about Cooper being evil. But obviously he went back to a period where Cooper was not evil, he's still Cooper. Anyway, so Gordon Cole remembers this, and then he talks about a dream he has about Monica Bellucci giving him information, and then it turned out to just be Monica Bellucci. That was weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That part you're talking about, yeah.
Monica Bellucci, famous.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I actually do know what you're talking about.
Okay,
the black
good.
and white part.
Yes, yes. And 100%, I think David Lynch just wanted to bone Monica Bellucci, so he wrote her a part where she could be herself. Anyway, so yeah, they questioned Diane, about this message they get, and it turns out Diane is Janey E's half sister, and Diane knows about Dougie Jones. I don't know if she knows what he looks like, because that would be suspicious. So things are starting to connect a little bit more. So I thought that was interesting. Then we go back to Twin Peaks. They arrest the cop who was helping Richard Thorne. They finally arrest him. They were onto him the whole time, apparently. And then they go to the woods, based off information Major Briggs gave them. And then, Nikki, explain everything that happened in the woods. Go.
There was dust, fog. They found a girl with no eyes, and she was naked. She had really good skin. And then the one guy got sucked up into a vortex?
Which guy?
The tall one.
Andy.
Oh, yeah, Andy.
Oh, yeah, so it was Bobby, Andy, Hawk, and the new Sheriff Truman. Okay, what happened when he was in the vortex? Explain everything as thoroughly as you can, and please make sense of it.
The giant came.
Yes.
They were both sitting on a chair, kind of like catty-cornered to each other, and then there was a circle thing that Andy looked up to, and the giant just kind of showed him a bunch of stuff.
What stuff? What was it? Please explain it in detail.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the giant, who's now known as the Fireman.
Oh, yeah.
Who I'm not sure, because he dresses different than he did in the old show. So I'm starting to wonder if the giant and the Fireman are two different entities that just might look the same. So yeah, Andy goes in there. He forgot to mention that it's black and white. That was very important. And he shows Andy, it's clear that he's trying to explain to Andy what's going on. So he shows him the box monster, who we haven't seen in a long time. The demon that barfed Bob into existence. What else did he show? Laura Palmer, the angel who took Laura Palmer. The beginning of the first episode of the original series. What else was in there? Was there anything else there? The two Coopers.
Oh.
He shows him the two Coopers. And then Andy goes back and he brings the girl with no eyes, who... The girl with no eyes helped Cooper in the first few episodes of the season.
He said something like, she's important and people want to kill her.
Yeah, Andy comes back. They have no memory of meeting her or anything. They go back to that big stump, and they're like, what just happened? And then Andy shows up and says she's important. So they put her in a jail cell with the shitty cop, and then there's a guy there who's bleeding out of his mouth and acting weird. What happened after that? What happened after that?
There was a conversation between James and the guy with the glove.
Oh, yeah. So James is apparently a security guard, and he works with another security guard who has a rubber glove on, and is just shattering golf balls with it. And he's like, why can't you take this rubber glove off? And he's like, I tried to, and I started bleeding. And it turns out he tells the story of how he got the rubber glove, because it's James's birthday. And apparently he too went up into the air into a vortex and met the fireman giant. And the giant specifically told him to buy this glove for some reason, and that his destiny was in Twin Peaks. It was like a really long story.
Yeah, I zoned out a little bit.
David Lynch is really good. There's a whole screenwriting thing where it says like show, don't tell. David Lynch doesn't give a fuck about that rule, and he'll have someone talk about a story for 10 goddamn minutes. So yeah, apparently in Twin Peaks, there's a guy with a blue rubber glove who's super strong, and he has some kind of purpose there, and we don't know what it is. Then James goes to check on a cellar, and the scene just ends. But then, we get to see Sarah Palmer. Can you walk me through the Sarah Palmer scene?
I don't know who you're talking
Old lady
about.
in the bar.
Oh, some weird trucker guy, I guess, approaches her.
What did his shirt say?
Chuck off?
No, truck you.
Oh, truck you.
I wouldn't have imagined that was Colby Martin. Which would make what happens to him even more satisfying. So what did old, poor, little Sarah Palmer do in the bar?
She took off her face. And then it was like kind of similar to what the fireman giant guy was showing. It looked like similar, maybe just because it was black and white, but it was like right behind her face. Yeah,
and the first episode of this season, Laura Palmer's spirit came back into the Black Lodge, and she did the same thing. She removed her face, and like a light came out of it. But there's darkness inside Sarah Palmer, like weird imagery, and then what did she do to the trucker after that?
It looked like she bit his neck off.
Yeah, she like bit his fucking neck open, but there was no blood on her or anything. And then like she snaps out of it and starts screaming. So yeah, she just fucking murders a guy. So there's something weird going on with her, because she seemed to be like a normal woman in the old show. She just could see spirits. And obviously she's gonna get darker because of all the family shit that happened. But I think this is starting to prove everyone's theory that in episode 8, the one that takes place in like the 40s or 50s or whatever, they showed a little girl on a date and then a locust frog thing crawls in her mouth. So people think that little girl is Sarah Palmer.
Oh.
And that might explain why Laura Palmer's so important and all that shit. So there's something definitely weird going on with her. I'm not sure when it started. I'm not sure what's going on. Because there's talking to spirits, and then there's opening your face and ripping people's necks off. That's a little different. It's like a step above. That's like several steps above talking to spirits. Being able to open your face and eat people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then... Oh! So then it cuts to two girls. Again, two girls I don't think we've ever fucking seen before. Talking about this Billy guy. And in there they say, like, the one girl saw Billy, and he was bleeding out of his mouth. And that reminded me the guy in the jail cell was bleeding out of his mouth and acting weird. So I'm wondering if that's Billy and him being in jail. Maybe that's why no one's seen Billy. Also, I don't know who Billy is, and I don't know why anyone cares. This show is really fucking frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then some band plays, you know, the usual.
Yeah, some chick with a nice telly.
Yeah. Explain what a telly is.
A telly is a type of Fender guitar. The full name Telecaster. Has a real twangy sound. Real nice guitar.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're trying to talk about interdimensional beings, and you're talking about, like, what, like a fucking banjo or something? Alright, so that was the Twin Peaks recap. That won't get anywhere near as many views as Nikki's Rick and Morty recap, which will be coming up next. Are you excited?
I'm tired. But you forced me to do this.
Hey, whoa. Well, encourage, motivate, inspire, not force. Alright, check back next week for more Twin Peaks Rick and Morty shit. I love you guys.
Bye.
Please like and subscribe.